How is everyone? Landinime here. If you were having a good day, well, I'm probably about to ruin it. Today I'll be going over 10 anime that made me weep like a little pussy. These entries are in no particular order. I just wanted to give them some spotlight and explain why I loved them from the emotional end. We will talk about what these stories entailed that even got me, a pretty veteran anime watcher, tearing up. You can also expect a huge spoiler warning. You have been told. So let's kick it. 10 anime that I really love that got the tears flowing. First up is an anime that hasn't aged very well, as well isn't given a look anymore because of how old it is. I haven't visited this anime in probably about 3 years roughly, though it is very crucial when it comes to Mahou Shoujo history, which is something that is very important to me. I'm very well versed in the magical girl genre and the history of it. So let's talk about one of the OG magical girls and what it did to my brain cells. Mahou no Princess Minky Momo, an anime I watched raw about 3 years ago. Still being enough of a veteran anime watcher to know enough Japanese to still be able to follow. I guess I'm just a reckless otaku. With several more hundred anime now under my completion list, I could probably rewatch it now and understand it even better, I suppose. But oof, I spent more money on the DVDs with my retail money at the time to be even comfortable with telling you. I'll leave that out so you don't think I'm an absolute idiot. It's still probably at my friend's house on a shelf somewhere, and I should probably get it back. An anime that is so underappreciated. Now that it has been years since I've seen it, it feels a little surreal to finally be able to talk about it in a video. Minky Momo was the first anime that, for a long time, just really let me take a step back, to take in why I watched these shows. So many hundreds were already watched. What was I lacking in my mind? Then I remembered. I come to the medium of anime for this. This is the only reason I started watching this show. I knew the aesthetic was something I could only get out of the medium of anime, something anime could only bring me. Beyond the bland art direction and animation of the time, it still grabbed everything that anime is to me. Thinking a bit further, I recently had an epiphany of why it made me tear up. It was that I spent so much money on this footage that just because of that, I was interested in the history of anime and the magical girl genre. Minky is one of the OG Mahou Shoujo shows. Tie together its history of blasting the magical girl genre high in the marketing and also just me being proud to find the medium so weird and different. To me, it was worth the hundreds of dollars I spent, just for those reasons. I am legitimately honored that I got to ride alongside the original magical girl, who paved the way for the Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moons, the Cardcaptor Sakuras, the Mahou no Stage Fancy Lalas, and Princess Tutus of the future. No matter how lame and gay you think the magical girl genre is, Mahou no Princess Minky Momo deserves your respect for what it accomplished for the anime industry, also the Mahou Shoujo genre, becoming really what most anime fans knew as the premier genre of anime, at least in my mind, well before the mecha genre died. Now onto something a little less girly and perhaps more manly. I guess all of the characters were mostly female, but welcome to another show from the 80s, with its tie-in sequel that came out in 2004. Aim for the Top, Gunbuster, and Aim for the Top 2, Diebuster. Most people close to me in the anime community know that I wave my Studio Gainax fandom on my sleeve. Gunbuster and Diebuster may very well be the first mecha anime to make me cry. Let's draw it back a little though. You might think that these two anime can't deliver or convey unbridled emotions in just their 6-episode runtime. Somehow both did in two different ways. The endings to Gunbuster and Diebuster tie in so well, with Takaya and Amino in the former and Nono in the latter both delivering passionate high-stakes action and heart. All of the characters really give off this enchantment. It makes the viewer connect with their epic space battles, missing out on life, and saving the world just long enough to make that life worth living. Tying in Takaya and Amino coming home from floating in space for thousands of years at the end of Diebuster was amazing. Within just 2 6-episode series, I was involved enough to shed tears. This, however, wasn't only the first time I got emotional. The real reason I did was in episode 4 of Diebuster, which hosts my favorite scene in all of anime. A scene that may not make much sense, though it's a very epic one at that. The absolutely ridiculous scene where Nono transcends the entire galaxy from Pluto to save her beloved friends, after being treated basically like the bottom of the barrel by all of the Buster pilots, just thinking that she's some weirdo with some big dreams of becoming a Buster pilot herself. But at first she seems to not have what it takes. My fucking god. Blast the music, watch her show up and stop the creature who had just killed half of the cast with zero fucks to give, striking the classic arm-crossed Gynax pose, looking like an absolute badass, announcing herself as Buster Machine number 7, and showing up with Buster Legion. What follows is my favorite speech in anime, and it is so stupid but so goddamn awe-inspiring. Aim for the top. Nono is the embodiment of that notion. She yells, "I, Nono, was truly a fool." Whether you have a Buster Machine or not is irrelevant. Those who think things like, "if only I had a Buster Machine," can never reach the true top. That's because true power resides in those who believe in themselves until the very end. This was just not only Nono as a character coming from nothing to being something, but a 1-minute anime clip that drilled my emotions. My observation of this making me cry as a diehard Gynax fan is just that the scene and the show's overall manifestation of what Studio Gynax has always been about, the themes of friendship, guts, screaming at the top of your lungs like an anime character, and total badass nonsense. This studio has kept this message abundant for over 2 decades. It's everything that I love them for, so that was just another tear shed within just 2 short, incredible anime. Up now is an anime that is my favorite of the school genre. Not to be confused with some in my top 10 that happen to just be in my favorites that also took place in high school. This is legit my favorite high school anime. Here it is. It made me cry. A lot. Gaku and Utopia, Manabi Straight. Coming back to Manabi made me very happy. Though Manabi Straight is an absurd one that I've experienced. When I first made my top 50 favorite anime blog almost 2 years ago on Anime Amino, I placed it at number 16. It has never fluctuated from that position. It has been at number 16 in my top 20 for a long time. I still feel it's deserving of this since I really loved it. I really embraced Manabi and company for the heartwarming and struggling story they told me. Beset in a universe where the population is so small that the need for high school is becoming irrelevant. Manabi and her friends are the last of a dying breed. Some of the very few students left that will never get to experience that joyous or hard time that is high school. This plot structure of a high school anime was super unique to me, and props to Ufotable because I really connected with it. As someone who found high school mostly to be a waste of time and my parents' money, seeing it reflected oppositely in an anime with a character I actually give a shit about was surreal. Manabi made me excited. Her gung-ho nature about everything to do with her school was so endearing. She promised everyone that if this school is gonna die, and the idea of school in general is on its way out, then we are taking the traditions of the students who came before and going out with a bang. Memories that will last us a lifetime. We must embrace it. Since most people just go and get career positions and don't go to school anymore, she knows that her time at this school and with her friends is special. Manabi shows the viewers to appreciate the times you have with these people now, because all good things must come to an end. This isn't the only anime on this list to display that theme either, mind you. In the last episode, after the 1.5 year time skip, and Manabi, Mika, Munaha, and Mutsuki come back to the school, just to take one final trip down memory lane, hits me in the feels like a bullet train every fucking time I watch it. This show told me to appreciate the things that you can appreciate in general and life as they come, because it won't last forever. I think this time around, after coming back to this anime, I'll keep the message that Gaku and Utopia Manabi Straight left behind a little bit closer to me. This next anime has a pretty touchy subject behind it, but I still feel as though it helped me and my friend who watched it with me bond pretty closely, even though that it's about a problem that neither of us really deal with. It's an anime called Orange. Orange was an anime I put off watching for quite some time. Luckily, my friend picked it out, and we decided to watch it. Orange was right up our alley. I feel as though this show connected with us deeply, even though that we don't really agree on each other's anime taste most of the time, despite having a lot of anime knowledge under our belt. Though it had much more than that. Orange is a love letter to those with suicidal tendencies. It tells you that you're not alone, and not to leave this world any earlier than you have to. It shows that there is some hope and people out there who will go out of their way to be by your side. On that note, I must first address the cast of this show. Not just because they are the main characters, but because they are some of the most loving and close bonded friends I've seen in anime to date. They are the ones who project the role of being a shoulder to cry on when you feel like there is none of your life left worth living, and that you feel like it should come to an end. Balance this with 5 different characters and a main lead, it's a pretty heartwarming tale. The chemistry between these characters is astounding. You have Hagita, Chino, Azu, Naho, and I think most importantly, Suwa. They take the cake when it comes to helping Kakeru with his heartache. Sprinkle in his romance with Naho, as well as Azu and Hagita's in the Orange Mirai movie, you get a solid 8 out of 10 anime experience. You couldn't ask for better friends than these. It was by far my favorite part of Orange. As I now left Orange behind with my pal and we move on to other anime, I must say I'll miss it. The movie was kind of meh because of it, I guess, being mostly a recap, though to see the alternate worlds become both true endings of the show made it all worth it. Suwa got rewarded for being one of the best written characters and humans just in general. Also, Kakeru got to move on and have his happy ending with Naho, getting married and starting a family. What really made me cry about this is seeing suicidal tendency being overcome, and also just, I guess, not this anime being perfect, but splitting off into these different parallel worlds where Suwa got his deserved ending and Kakeru got his as well, finding a significant other who will actually make your life worth living. It was pretty amazing. This is a great show. I really loved Orange, and I hope you guys watch it. Rolling on to an anime that I wish more people still talked about. I would say I'm guilty for not mentioning it more to anime fans myself, but it's an anime I tried to promote very heavily in my more emotional themed blogs. And oh boy, how emotional it made me. It's Usagi Drop. People watching this video who know me, I already understand they are saying to themselves, "Land Anime, you hate kids. What the fuck is wrong with you?" Well, sorry buddy, real children are not anime children. I mean, my least favorite anime character of all time is an infant named Lou from Space Runaway Ideon. So I do usually hate child characters, I suppose. Though that's the beauty of Usagi Drop in my head. A child that I actually did not hate. If that speaks volumes about how much I loved this anime, I don't know what else would. I'll mention this. I love my parents. I've always had the silver spoon. I'm a spoiled piece of shit, and I understand that others didn't really get the upbringing that I have undergone. Rin didn't have what I did, which is why I had a tearful smile on my face through all 11 episodes of this. She is just as deserving to be loved and accounted for in life as any other child. Her actual father was Daikichi's grandpa. She doesn't have that normal childhood and father figure at present. So seeing Daikichi step up, say fuck off to the family that doesn't acknowledge her made me fall in love with the series overall. I will always be super humanist in the fact that I find other humans way more important than things that do not exist or maybe material belongings. I also would like to think that I go out of my way to make other people's day shine a little bit brighter because of my social interaction and social skills. 4 years of customer service management may have helped that. This can't even come close to touching what family can do for you though. If you're a passionate member of the anime community, and you want to see this subject that I had just mentioned in an anime, please, I earnestly plead that you give Usagi Drop a watch if you want to experience one of the best quote-unquote heartwarming stories ever told. Usagi Drop has succeeded where many anime that came before it have failed. Rin and Daikichi will make you care about the narrative if you give them a chance, I promise. As to where I often speak about how characters in anime like Wolf Children or Your Lie in April are too predictable, or don't give you enough time to flesh out why we should give a fuck, and trust me, I don't give a fuck about any of the characters in both of those. Usagi is where I'll direct you, if you really want to see that theme played out. Okay, that will do it for today. I'll split this into a 2-part series because I'm driving almost 2 hours to work every day and not getting home until almost 3 a.m. And that has had me editing in like the most clusterfuck short amount of time possible. Though I'll be working on part 2, which will, I guess, appear in the last 5 entries immediately. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.